Right. Oh my gosh, death. Yeah, I just got the notification, so we are for reals. So, how you doing, my friend? That's amazing. All right. So plug to global warming, climate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll have to move back to Minnesota, where I'm from, and that'll be my winter home. That's right. Cool. All right. You drinking anything today, by the way? Oh my gosh, that's so fancy. Like, you cut up your own cucumbers and limes and stick it in there? Multi-purpose. Yeah, exactly. So it makes you stay so young, or look so young anyway. I'm just doing the water. I told you I'm on my fitness journey, so I'm doing water. All right. Well, let's get into it. What are we talking about today? So depressing. So depressing. Yeah, I mean, we really should probably figure out. I don't know how many RPGs you've played, and either solo or MMO, but usually there's something that happens when you die, right? We haven't discussed it at all in any capacity. I haven't even taken a note. I don't even think I have a linear for death anywhere. So I'm wondering if maybe we should talk about death and what happens when you die. This is literally a free form conversation. I've argued with myself and I want other opinions other than my own brain. So, yeah, so to your point, that's exactly how WoW does it, but that's how most MMORPGs do it. In the sense that when you die, you're put somewhere, a temporary place, so that you can be resurrected at your corpse rather than having to do a corpse run and go back and whatnot. So in WoW, yes, you turned into a ghost, and if you get resurrected, then you immediately go back to your corpse. However, as a ghost, you can actually run to your corpse as a ghost. Nothing interacts with you. You don't get aggro from any mobs or anything like that. And then when you get close to your corpse, you can say resurrect, and then you get your body and your loot back, etc. Uh, so that's the mechanics of it, but there's also the consequences of it. Like, what happens when you die? So I guess that's the other thing that we should discuss is, okay, in EverQuest, for example, when you died, you have a certain amount of time. 60 seconds, I think, was the default before someone can res you. And if someone doesn't res you, you actually respawn naked at your bind spot. So throughout the game, you can bind yourself somewhere. There's these like bind posts where you go and you say, "This is where I'm gonna end up if I die and get resurrected. I'm gonna end up here." Uh, in EverQuest, it's very hardcore in the sense that not only do you die, end up at your buying spot, have no gear whatsoever, but you actually lose level experience. So you can de-level in EverQuest. You could have been a level 60, whatever, level 60 badass. You could die and die and die over and over and over. You could de-level all the way back to level one if you really wanted to. That's right. So to your point, you're not alone. People hated that. Okay, I can't say all people, but most people hated that mechanism because of what you're talking about. Is especially in EverQuest, where you have to grind for so long to get a little bubble of the XP, and then when you die, you lose like half of that bubble. That just felt like such a waste of time. So WoW went the extreme, and they're like, "Oh hell no, you ain't losing no EXP." And so in WoW, when you die, one, of course, it's easier to get your corpse. You're a ghost. You're not actually naked and respawned, but you're a ghost, and you can just go and run and get your corpse no matter where it is. But two, there's no EXP penalty at all. Instead, WoW does equipment degradation. Durability, exactly. So every time you die, your durability on your equipment that you were wearing at the time goes down, I think 20% or something like that. I don't know, 10%. I forget what the exact number is, but there's some magical formula for all of your equipment. So that's a gold sink. So ultimately, you're out adventuring, you die, you get your shit back, and then you, oh crap, everything's broken, or at 10%, I need to go back to town. Now I have to repair it, or it's a skill, it's a blacksmithing skill. I can repair my own gear, etc. So it adds a little bit more design space, but there's no worry at all about de-leveling. Yep. Yep. S- s- So I do think for sure we should have a durability penalty when you die. I think that should be a bare minimum. Beyond just being a gold sink and allowing yourself to have skills to repair goods and whatnot. Plus, items right now already have a durability on them, so it's with what's already been designed. One of the things that you mentioned there was also important, and there's this after a while, then there came a hybrid. You've seen this in maybe in solo or single games where there's a hybrid negative EXP, but you don't lose your level. Where you go into an EXP deficit, and you'll never lose your level. Of course, if you're level 60, you'll still have a 60, or level 59, you'll still be level 59. But you go into a deficit and you can't gain experience. Well, as you're gaining experience, basically you're reducing the deficit, as it were. That's right. There were limits to that as well. Like you not like EQ where you could always de-level back to level one. They would say like, oh, you can only de-experience like a full level's worth of experience. And then that's the cap. So you have to basically earn two levels worth of experience to get to the next level. Um, and so that was kind of a way of getting around the de-leveling, but still being penalizing on the experience side of the house. Another thing that we could do, since so much of the game is based on skills and learning skills, you could put a skill experience loss as well. So I might be level 300 in my one-handed slashing, but as I die, I get progressively worse at that skill. Or we could do skill banks, or sorry, experience deficits on skills themselves. Honestly, the world is our oyster here, so that's kind of why I brought up on the screen here, like what we can do. Oh yeah, not morph. MMORPG death consequences. Um, Interesting. Yeah. Well, I think these two are the this is kind of where I want to head with this episode is I've always I've pictured AOD as being a nostalgic leaning towards the hardcore gamer. But I don't want to be EverQuest where you're losing levels. I don't want to do that. So there's at least some agreement with us that like it should be hardcore, but it shouldn't be as hardcore as EverQuest. There also then is the side of like what happens when you die? What's the mechanics? Do I get my loot? Does the loot stay on the core? I mean, yep, two separate conversations. So we kind of have to figure out what we want that to be. Uh, and I don't know. So this is I really like what you were talking about with this right here, right? The soul sickness or whatever we want to call it, where when you do die, I haven't played Guild Wars, so I don't know. Like, if a homie doesn't res you, you're left with soul sickness. Is there a way to get rid of soul sickness somehow, or is it just time based? Sure. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So I guess that also goes back to you brought up another good point, which is instances, right? So um, I was planning on doing instances with AOD as well. Uh, Very specific zones are instances. They're more challenging. They're specific to a group. It's not like you're out in the world. I mean, I assume it's the same with Guild Wars, where those instances are specific to that group. And so they're the only ones that are in that instance. And so I can understand why that would work in a Guild War setting where if the entire party wipes in an instance, everyone basically gets the soul sickness or whatever we're calling it, because then it makes it more challenging, etc. Um, if at least one person though survives, they flee. In our case, like they're in a group and they somehow flee and they are alive. Then, if they have a res stick or a resurrection scroll or something, they could revive the party. and then you don't get soul sickness. Is that correct? Basically. Not sure. I'm not sure I followed that. Oh, oh. Wha- Okay, so that's not at all what I pictured. So this right here, this is an example. So these are all actual outdoor zones, world zones that people would go in, walk around like Junction, Dracoshire, etc. Those, you would actually see other people running through these zones, etc. So like this is a true zone junction. If I go north, I'll go to Western Plains. There will be other people there. I can kill shit. I can get loot from Western Plains. I might group up with someone in the Western Plains, etc. So that's the majority of the world. But every once in a while, you come to a area, and I'm calling them dungeons, but in WoW they were called instances. And you and your homies, your six people total, they basically start a dungeon, and that dungeon is specific to that group. So they get the best of both worlds, as it were. They get the overworld stuff, and you can do world raids and all that stuff. You can go out and just kill shit to your heart's content. Go kill all the spiders and whatever. Everyone can do all that. But if you want a challenge, then you can actually create an instance, go to this dungeon, and it's only six people in it. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. It's the most effective. Yeah. Yep. Agreed. So I'm with you on that. So I'm gonna try to take some notes as best I can because I think I've already skipped a lot of this, and we should probably write down our thoughts. I know. So for one, we want this to be hardcore. Esque. Esque. Hardcore esque. Not EQ hard, but not wow easy. That's right. Uh, so as far as like, there's two things. What happens when a PC dies? What are the mechanics, and what are the penalties? So instances, we can do, what is it called? I don't know what it's called. Soul sickness. X percent of soul sickness, maybe a bonus kicks in based on the player. Yeah, X% of stats, resists, vitals are reduced. I'm not sure what soul sickness actually means. So then outdoors, if I'm just out there and I kill a spider, or sorry, and I die to a spider, what happens to me? So, so in instances, you should respawn at the entrance within the instance itself. So you don't go outside of it. You're not going back to town. You literally respawn at the start of the instance, assuming no resurrection shenanigans, etc. That's right. Um, so no matter which, we're reducing durability on items. Do you want to do an XP deficit? Is that what you were thinking? I really don't. I don't want to lose XP, I don't think. Yeah, for a couple of reasons. It's going to be hard, I think, harder to earn XP in AOD than say WoW. WoW is super casual. Anyone can level from 1 to 60 or a max level probably in, a couple hours or 4 hours. That's right. AOD, I want it to be closer to EverQuest, where it's going to take a while and you're going to feel a reward for every bubble. I call them bubbles. I keep calling them bubbles because in EQ, uh, on the UI, the experience bar is broken up into 20 bubbles. So each bubble represents 5% of your experience. And as you're leveling up, if you fill a bubble, you get a sense of accomplishment. I've made my way 5% through this level. So if you can imagine a player getting a bubble worth of EXP, and that's being an accomplishment because they've made 5% of a level, and then suddenly we wipe out, and that might represent a couple of hours of play, is that 5%. And we just wipe out 1, 2, or 5% of that. That is truly a Mm, I don't know. It's really disheartening to lose 3, 4, 5 hours worth of gameplay to death. It is hardcore 90s for sure, 100%. I will not disagree with you. That is absolutely hardcore 90s. Agreed. No, I'm with you. I don't think durability is enough. There has to be something else. Yeah. No, I'm with you. There absolutely has to be something else besides durability. What that is, I don't know. So that's why I was hoping that maybe this would give us some. I mean, obviously, we're doing this. I still feel I don't like that. Well, yes, of course, there's that. I don't know. Should we ask AI? Let me bring this over here. Let's see what Claude has to say. Maybe he'll come up with something creative. So we're creating an online role-playing game, an MMORPG, and we're looking for something creative that happens to players when they die. Does that matter for this? Explain that to me. I think you were talking about that when I was bringing up Claude, and maybe I missed it, but why does it matter? But you'll be already dead. So what does that mean? Um, I'm just not picturing how it works. Like if I'm soloing and the spider kills me and I die, at that point, like where does the turn-based stuff come in? They're auto acting on their own always. Yeah. I'll give it more context that it's turn-based and see if it makes any difference to its solution here. Uh, the main game loop is turn-based during combat, but real-time during exploration. We are definitely going to be item durability loss when a player dies, but we're looking for something a little bit more hardcore when it comes to other penalties. We don't want to do necessarily experience loss, although we might if that's all that we can come up with. And it is a skill based game where you're learning skills as you adventure. However, we're really struggling with a creative way to penalize a player without it absolutely decimating them and disheartening them based off of the amount of time they've spent. I don't know. This is correct. This is exactly right. That's interesting. I don't mind this. This is actually pretty interesting. Affecting prices? People would do that just uh, they would. They would love that, actually. Memory loss? Oh, let's, let's keep going down this with Claude and see what's the general tone and setting of the game? I don't know. What's the general tone? It's a high fantasy MMORPG. The general tone is what would you say the general tone is? Oh, yeah. 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 I'm gonna say it's serious, weighty, more punishing. This is an interesting concept. It's very similar to the soul sickness or whatever we're calling it. Yeah. Yeah. I've never played Dark Souls. I know people love it. I'm not opposed to this soul fracturing. I like this doesn't seem that much different from those above it. I I think it's hitting on something here, combining them, right? So that's something we didn't talk about. What's that? So what you how should it work then? Walk me through that. What do you mean? So the person who fled, you're saying that they won't be able to res the rest of the players? Is that what you're thinking? Yeah. Yeah. So normally, well, again, I mean, depends on which game, but to your point about WoW, for example, when you die and within that 60-second window, if you're not rezzed, you just click resurrect and at your bind spot, and you resurrect at your bind spot with all your gear. So there is no corpse retrieval per se. However, the penalty for doing that is much greater than if you're actually rezzed. So when you die in WoW and you res at your bind spot, you get like a little death debuff for like 5 minutes or something. That's like 50% of your stats or something. And your durability of your items has gone down by 20%. Whereas if you're res at your body by some other, you get 10% of your durability instead. So it's just kind of like, yes, to your point, there is no actual corpse retrieval mechanism at all. EverQuest is the exact extreme. It's the far extreme. You literally res naked at your bind spot, and you have to run back to your corpse in order to get all of your gear. So, and you're right, people hate that mechanic. They absolutely despise it because now you have to have a second set of gear in a bank that you hope you can equip and get back to your corpse, or you have to hire like a monk class who can go in and do a corpse drag, or a warlock class, necromancer class who can go in and do a corpse retrieval for you. So that all sucks. Makes it really, really difficult. So I'm with you. There shouldn't necessarily be a corpse retrieval, but there should be something that allows your corpse to be rezzed in place if you can. So, but you're right. Like in a party of six and the warrior's the only one left. Well, what the hell do people do then? Do they res at the bind point and then run back to the party? I'm not sure. That's a good point. So if everyone died, they would all res at their own individual bind points, which could be in towns far away, right? But if, to your point, if a warrior fled and there was a bind or sorry, a res post or something to your point, they click on the res post and then the entire party reses right there. That saves a lot of time and effort because then they can just all res, you know, somewhat safely in some place, is what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were talking about a few episodes ago, like how's that going to happen or how's that going to work? And unless they're grouped together and following the party leader, they're just outside of combat. They're not going to contribute to combat, I don't think. Yeah. And as far as bind spots, um, I could be bound in Junction, you could be bound in Dracoshire, someone else could be bound in Ala Kulina or whatever the case may be. Doesn't mean that my bind spot has to be the same as your bind spot. It's just when I die and I'm not rezzed, I'm going to go end up in Dracoshire. You're going to end up in Junction. Because bind spots don't have anything to do with party mechanics. Maybe it's our definition of bind spot. Maybe I'm using it differently. Oh, I see. Yeah, in WoW, it's very different. In WoW, when I go to a new zone, I just go to the inn or some place and I just say, this is where I'm going to bind my soul to. So if I die, I resurrect here. That's all it is. Yeah. And that's I mean, in WoW, that's strategic. Like if I'm adventuring somewhere and like let's just say in Junction, but my bind spot is in Dracoshire where it's a big town and there's all sorts of stuff there. I could be adventuring in Junction, I could die, but then I resurrect back in Dracoshire and I can sell all my gear. I can go in and do the auction house. I can do all those sorts of things. So I don't want to necessarily bind in Junction or somewhere even further than a main town, because then it just makes it harder for me to go back to that town to begin with. So, oh, heck no. No, I don't even know what fast travel would mean in an MMORPG. No, or teleport. I mean, yeah, that's the whole beauty of mounts or anything that's a speed enhancing buff is yeah, you have to travel the entire world. Those are solo player. Those are solo player mechanics. Yeah, yeah. I'll put that on here though for sure. Yep. So not So yeah, I mean, it depends how we want to do it, but yes, in the big towns, again, I'll use WoW. I mean, EverQuest and WoW follow similar mechanics in the sense that normally there's a class that can teleport, and in EverQuest, it was like the wizard, and they would have portal spells where they would port an entire, basically their party to different zones. Uh, but to your point, like if I'm not a wizard, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to teleport? Yeah. So you're supposed to go to a town, and while there's like big blimps or a boat, you get on the blimp or the boat, you wait for it to move, and that'll take you between continent and continent. But otherwise, you are literally running everywhere on the map. And the mounts, like you at level 20, it's huge. You get a mount and your speed suddenly doubles. So you can traverse the landscape faster and explore faster, etc. But yeah, there ain't no teleporting anywhere, unless you're a teleport class. Oh, really? Okay. So people party for lots of reasons. Some just party because they're social. Some people are actually partying and they are adventuring, and others are in town repairing gear or whatever, and then they'll catch up with the group later. So in other MMORPGs, there's no rule that you have to necessarily be with the people in the party. They could be doing other things. So that's kind of what, yeah, going back to what we were talking about a few episodes ago, that's what we have to figure out how that works. And that's what we would do if the party was together and we gave the, like, I gave the permission to follow the party leader, and the party leader is walking around and I'm following them. Um, in that sense, we are grouped together. But there's the other scenario that you're talking about where, yeah, someone else is off doing their own thing, and there's another party over here, part of the party, and they're like fighting in two different areas or whatnot. Only one person over here would be able to fight the spider, and the other person over here would be fighting the bear. But we don't have to do it that way either. We, well, Well, I think once the game mechanics actually play out, partying together, to your point, like being actually grouped together in a party will be the only way to survive. I don't think, if we're doing the balancing correctly, I don't think like a party of six level 20 characters will be able to survive if they're separated. They will have to be together because the intent is to be hardcore enough so that they can't solo. I mean, When I say solo, I mean just one character. They could have one character and 5 mercenaries, but literally, I think that they will have to group together, otherwise they won't survive very long. So if you did in your scenario have like 2 groups of 3 doing their own thing, they're very quickly gonna die. So so to your point about the warrior, because I was noodling that in my head, like, okay, the warrior is left, they did flee. Maybe there doesn't need to be like a res stick or a res scroll at that point. Maybe it's just an option. Every party has an option. If it survives the encounter, if they fled, resurrect. And the party gets resurrected wherever that person is. They all have their debuffs, their durability penalties. And then at that point, it's like, okay, is there a class that can maybe reduce that debuff or whatever? And maybe some of these debuffs they can't, like the the corruption or whatever the case may be. That might be their. There's no cure for that, but it wears off over time. I really like that. So to your point, I like the idea of this death curse or whatever we're calling it. Um, what that looks like and how that plays out, we should work through. But I really like that idea. I love that. I love that so much because that ties into part of the lore that's already in the game. So the corruption system ties into the deity Galba. So Galba is a powerful god in this world whose main focus is corruption and power. And so all of the quests in the game are derived from the deity structure. So this could just be one more aspect of the game that's tied to the deities in the game. And so I love it. Exorcism. I love it. Yeah. So um shaman, priest, in town, quest. Yeah. Uh, so we have to figure out what the corruption mechanism actually does. How bad is it while I'm out adventuring? Um, but at a bare minimum, it sounds like I think we're starting to come to a conclusion that when a I'll just do single player for now. When a single player dies in combat, they will go back to their bind point. Single player. This is single player. So just for like, I want to code what happens when Jasper dies by himself out in the wild. He's just going to die. Where do, so what happens if I am a solo player and I die? What goes on in that case? It can't be too punishing to start out the game, though, right? Because you don't want to. So you want to encourage people to go out and adventure in the world, but you don't want to like decimate them from the beginning. There has to be a scaling effect, I think. So like earlier in the game, the corruption system isn't as powerful as maybe later in the game once you've learned the mechanics, have access to more resources, etc. So maybe it scales based off of level. So is that based off of your level? What's that based off of then? You don't want a character to have the ability to get rid of it? Consumables or consumable like a potion or scroll? Yep. Uh, so then again, going back to this, because we're talking about the corruption system, right? That's not really that hardcore anymore, right? It's literally the same thing as soul sickness. Sure, but doesn't the system have to be consistent no matter what level you are? I guess is my question. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter if I'm in a party or not? How does that change? Which means that a character class shouldn't be able to get rid of it because I can just have that character class in the party and they just keep getting rid of it and I'm never penalized. Well, so I think you and I are thinking of it in different ways. I think you're thinking of the instance. I'm just thinking about a party over world, right? And the outdoors. There's not necessarily like a quest that a party's doing. They're just out there. They're just fighting spiders and whatnot in a group. They die. They get a corruption, but now they have to go back to town to clear it. Well, that's I guess kind of the heart of the question is like, um, if I'm in an instance, again, we're instances seem different than just adventuring outdoors. Instances are either like it's a challenge for a group to do. So in that sense, you can add a corruption system or something that makes it more difficult when they wipe or whatnot. But if I'm just adventuring outdoors in the world with a party, it doesn't seem the same as an instance. It seems like so, huh? That's exactly right. Okay, let me noodle on that a little bit. I think I'm understanding and coming to your way of thinking about this. The corruption system always happens, but I think that there is no easy way to get rid of it other than going somewhere. You have to travel somewhere. Now, getting to that somewhere is going to be an interesting journey, right? If I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I die, I go back to my bind point. Hopefully, there's a corruption remover at that place, wherever my bind point. Okay. I actually think this is a good basis for death. The real question is what is the corruption system? The devil's in the details, as it were. Like, what does it actually do? So, if I die 10 times in a row without getting my corruption removed, I'm basically at one health, one energy. And if I die again, do I keep coming back with one of everything, right? Okay, if that's the case, then Galba, um, so Galba is the ruler of hell, 7 layers of hell. So 7 corruptions max. Yep, it absolutely does. Um, I don't know what the it's 15. It's roughly 15, but it's a little less than 15. instead of linear, what if we do it, the more corrupted, the more you lose? So, like, so you might only lose 5% at layer at level 1 or corruption 1, and but then at 2 you might be 10% instead of 5%. Yeah. Yep. And to be fair, when we're saying lose percentages, we're talking vitals, we're talking stats, we're talking resistances, basically everything, right? Right. Well, across the board, you're just saying vital. I'm talking about the categories of things that people can lose. Vitals, stats, and resistances, right? I'll put skills in question mark. I don't I don't dislike it, but I'm not sure yet. And I don't think they should be consumables either, because that gets around the character class thing as well. It's the same thing. Yep. Yep. Need to go to town slash whatever anti-corrupter. I don't know what we're calling it. um, not necessarily in every town slash bind point, because I'd imagine the most convenient would be if there was a priest or whatever next to a bind point, because then way to your point, like as a party we'd come to junction, we'd all bind at junction. If we died, then we all get our corruption, we all respawn at our bind point. There's the priest right there where we say, okay, here's 5 gold, uncorrupt me, and then we can go back and adventure as a group together. Sure. Okay. So definitely not that, definitely not consumables. That's right. Okay. It is a forcing mechanism as well, in the sense that it will force people to go back to towns, and then that forces social interactions, grouping up, etc. That's right. And this also works in the instance or dungeon paradigm as well, because you don't actually go back to your bind point. You go back to the beginning of the instance. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think we're in a good spot here. I think that there's a lot of design space here for us to choose what we want to do with this, but at a bare minimum, this seems fine. I think we'll obviously have to hash out the mechanics of it as we're playing and see what works and doesn't work. But as a like starting. This seems great. Let's do it. Yep. Yep. We'll have to have for sure. Yeah. Need new attribute uh, corruption. Yep. 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 We'll need to make a bind point.
Oh man, I just realized my mic was not being streamed the whole time.
Again?
Again.
Oh
It's okay. It's okay. We at least remember this conversation.
no! Oh no!
It's okay. It's
And
okay.
I was so overconfident. Like I literally looked at it and I said, I am so confident that his mic works. I'm not even going to check.
OBS Studio restarted on me for no reason. I didn't touch anything.
Lovely
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
technology.
Yeah, yeah. I just now saw because I have like the like those audio meter things. I was like, my mic one hasn't been moving. What's wrong? And then I clicked it. I was like, oh god damn it.
That sucks.
It's okay. It's okay. We're all right.
So okay, we need to make a bind point. Obviously, corruption we can talk about, but what I would like to do then is I don't know how much time you have left on this episode.
I have at least 30 minutes. No problem.
So maybe we can try to add a bind point to junction. I don't know what that looks like.
Right. Right.
Um, and then try to add that to the character and then see if the character dies if they show up at the bind point.
I think that's great. I think that makes sense. And then, what was I gonna say? Bind point. Yeah, maybe we just like I don't know. We'll have to just like maybe you can just have it be like a random asset right now, just stuck in the middle of junction. And the idea would be end to end. You die to a spider, and then you just snap full health back to the bind point. That would be like, or whatever. You just snap back to the. You just respawn basically. Mm-hmm.
So what I was thinking, we would just have an X, Y location for the bind point, and there could be multiple bind points in a zone.
Mm-hmm.
Normally there's
Sure.
not. There's just one per zone.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
So what I was thinking is on the map itself, we would have a bind point location, and then in the character sheet, we would say the bind point attribute is this map and this XY location. And then when the character dies, they just, for now, go right to that spot.
Yes, I think let's keep it so simple. The corruption would be a new attribute that we can bring in later, but for right now, maybe that's all. Yeah.
So right now, and just hear me out on this one.
Mm-hmm.
There's this weird looking stone right here
Mm-hmm.
that like literally it's just like in the middle and you can't do anything.
I think that's a great. That's a as good of any point to start with. Yeah.
Exactly. I think this should just be the bind spot or whatever
Yeah.
we're calling it.
And maybe there's a maybe later on that's it's like whenever you come back out from here, then it's like noted in the chat like you suck. You had to come. Like Sir Clay sucks. He just came out of the bind spot, and then everyone can just like laugh or something, right? Yeah.
So this is 3931 basically is
Okay.
the bind location. So the reason I bring that up is I was thinking what we would do is we do this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go into plan mode and we'll talk about bind spots and see what it comes up with.
Yeah.
Does that seem
Yeah.
like a plan?
No, that seems great to me.
And I'll try to be quick about it.
No, you good? Yeah, I'm gonna use the restroom right after we get this build.
Okay.
After this first plan out.
Okay, cool. All right, so how do I word this? We'd like to add a bind point within zones where PCs can tether themselves to for when they die. essentially, if a character dies, they will go back to this spot automatically. Automatically isn't right, but we get the idea.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
For now, within the map of junction, we want this to be at coordinates 39, comma 31. Should we add more to that, or is that good enough for it to start? Do you want to add more details?
Yeah, actually, let me think. There was that was what was I gonna say? There should be then a bind point for each zone as an attribute, right? Before you that right, and then each character should have a property for the bind point. I personally just want to spell that out to it. Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. I'm cool with that as a first start. I'll be right back.
Okay. For those of you in the future who watch this and make fun of us, what are your favorite death penalties? Y'all like the hardcore to D level lose experience, or y'all want the WoW mechanic where basically all you're really doing is losing some gold? So because durability on items is basically nothing. It's an annoyance more than anything. All right, so let's see what it came up with. There's PC's health reaches zero in combat, reset round, blah, 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 sets using combat falls, and combat ends. There is no respawn logic, blah, blah. Yep, that's correct. Character persistence. Potion, health, and zone are stored via character persistency of character state. Actually, you know what? Let me do this.
I was just thinking,
Yeah,
wouldn't it be really cool if down the line the game map expanded so like each time you died, you actually appear in one of the layers of hell. So like the more corruption points you have, like you keep reappearing in that layer, and it's like there's only certain things that you can do in those layers. Just something I was like noodling on. I thought that'd be cool.
it'd be a nice side quest or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, exactly. Like maybe there's only a certain pet that you can get at the lowest layer, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. It
Yeah.
gives yourself a lot of design space.
Yeah, yeah, like oh, there's only this special kind of like I don't know, fucking scary griffin or something and then you have to try to tame it with like all the negs on you already. Yeah.
By the way, I did add, I don't know if you noticed, I added like health is actually going down now.
Excellent, excellent, cool.
So I just kind of wanted to see what would happen. Oh, by the way, I did introduce,
Stamina.
um, no, I introduced healing.
Ooh, that's
So
really
we
cool.
can play around with this
Yeah, yeah,
later.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
actually like that pop up, but yeah.
What was that pop up exactly?
So it basically allows you to target who to heal.
Okay, okay, got it.
So, minor heal is on cooldown, but yeah.
No, I follow. Cool.
No, I don't want to. I didn't want to kill everything.
Yeah. When the loot box came up, I was like, "Oh no, you won."
Oh, you know what? It's only killing one of the spiders. It didn't kill both of them. Oh, now I killed both of them. Great.
Oh, I was gonna say then we shouldn't have saw the loot page come up when we killed that one spider. Probably when you clear them all.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
It's
I
doing
follow.
loot for both of them, but combat didn't end anyway. That's weird.
Oh no.
So basically, this is what I was trying to get at.
So you just
So
died,
I just died. Yeah.
but it didn't happen. You can still walk around with
Right.
zero health. Okay, so maybe it has to be noted that death. It doesn't know what death is, probably.
Right. So it did. I just wanted to make sure that it understood what the. So that's what
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm. No,
was
I
just
follow already.
verifying
You want to see what it looks like today. I got it.
because that's what it said here.
Yep.
When it reaches zero, reset round, blah blah blah. There is no respawn logic. The character stays at 0
Yeah,
health, and
cool.
yeah, each each map has a spawn X for initial spawn configs. Yes, that is correct. So PC death flow, combat resolution, check dead PCs in turn order, look up character bind point. Yes, yes. Update character position plus health in database, update game state. Okay. I mean, in a party, we'll have to come back and talk about the entire party dying and what happens at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yes, add by points to maps, yes. I don't want this to be on the config.json. I really do want to do this in the database.
Right. Right. Because we shouldn't even be using this file anymore, right?
That's right.
So I would just, yeah, I would definitely update that. So maybe we
Is there a
even
way?
just get rid of all the JSONs in general too.
Is
To
there a
keep,
way?
to keep talking to it, you mean?
Yeah. So I was
Yep.
going to say, like, can I edit this here, or
You
do
can
I have
edit
to?
it directly on the file, or you can go to the plan context at the very bottom and just be like, actually, I don't want this point at all. I like everything else, and then they would just rebuild the plan.
Okay.
But you can
So
you can type into this. Yeah.
um, I'm just doing that now so I don't forget.
Mm-hmm. And then since the way we're doing it, we'd have to manually add it ourselves. It wouldn't be able to do it for us.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah,
We'll just
yeah,
run
yeah.
it
I
in
just
the
wanted to
script.
clarify. Yep.
As a matter of fact, well, I don't want. I was going to say, as a matter of fact, I don't want to add anything new to JSON, but I don't want to confuse it either. I don't want to say let's get rid of it because it'll probably try to go in and refactor everything, getting rid of the JSONs completely.
What you could do then, how about this? What if we go into the database, add the bind point in ourselves manually, then grab the new shape and say, this is what it looks like on the database? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we could do that.
Mm-hmm. That would be the easiest way, in my opinion. And then you can scratch that line out entirely. Or you could just then tell it, hey, actually, I don't. You would keep that line that you said, I don't want to add to the JSON. I want it directly on my database. This is what it looks like on the database side.
Sure. Let's see something here. Yeah, I was going to say, um, well, oh, well, it didn't create it. I was going to say I could do this as well while we're in there, but that's fine. We can do this. We can just do like this. Sorry. I'm just going to copy that and
No,
go
you're good.
into,
You're good.
we're going to go into our database. And we'll go in here. Uh, zones. Is it zones or zones?
Uh-oh.
Zones. Add column. Find point X. I don't know that there is a default. Oops, we need an int here. Find point. Sorry. Find point Y int not null. These should both be not null. I think that's the right nomenclature. Is that not the correct syntax? It's fine. Oh, sure, because there's already records, so it doesn't know what to populate them with.
There's already records for bind point.
No,
Oh,
for
you'd have to go through all of them and add it, right? Yeah. Hmm.
so that's fine. It's fine. Whatever. We'll just do this for now. And then we'll do this. And if it's null, and we'll go back and add them as needed. All right. Good enough. So now zones should have bind point X and Y.
I see it.
Yeah. And then injunction.
I think it was 3931. Does that sound right? 3139. Can't remember.
We'll see how
And
let's
then
see how your memory is.
yeah.
How am I in combat? Thought I died.
You rehealed yourself actually.
I know.
You died in combat, but you somehow rehealed.
I think when you rest, you actually gain health back.
Ah.
3831.
Oh.
I thought it was
I
3931.
think it's because you were looking at it from the other side. I actually really
No,
mean
I
that.
was looking at it from this
Did
side.
you go what one up? I thought you did one up.
Now, what happened is, see the mini map? It's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you move, it doesn't move with you. See, I moved to the left there,
Yeah.
and the mini map didn't move.
Uh-huh.
So for this is a bug. It's definitely 3931. So you
Okay.
have a good memory.
Okay. Um, After you updated that, can you then copy the row, and we'll want to punch that in and be like, that, I think your message is fine, the way it was, but just be like, we don't want to update that JSON. Here's we updated in our database. Here's what that row looks like. That's what I would say. Yep.
Whoa, here, let's copy this row here, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I would just say like everything else looks good in the plan. Update the plan. Yeah.
Does it though?
I think so. I think it understood everything else. I just don't want any more tie-ins to JSONs.
Get characters bind point from DB.
Nice.
Yeah,
It had that originally.
from the character stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's try it. Well, first let me do this.
Yep.
And then we'll do a build after this.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my goodness. I know it's janky, but believe it or not, the game is coming along.
Oh yeah. No, don't worry. I understand. This is like the prototype phase, and then you gotta go and then add the nice stuff afterwards. Yeah.
I also fixed the Mighty Strike bug that was in there, so
Mm-hmm.
Mighty Strike works now.
Cool.
So between heal and Mighty Strike, you have the foundation for any damage-based skill or heal-based skill.
Mm-hmm. So there's a loop that we can pair up and then try to, take damage and then heal each other and go from there. There's some QA we can do, which is cool.
Yeah. That's one thing that I didn't test yet on the healing mechanism. I've only been soloing.
Yeah.
I didn't do it in a party.
Yeah. Which will
I
be
need
a
to
whole
try
another
it.
set of QA. Like you have to
I
solo
know.
it and then yeah, totally.
Really? Why is this? Okay. I'm not quite sure why it went into this tailspin. It was literally not reading from the JSON and instead reading from the database. Yeah. Yep. Oh, crap. I don't think this is right.
Use bind zone ID to link. Oh yeah, because you might want to just give the bind zone. Well, if you use a bind
Oh, no,
zone
this is
ID,
right. No, this one.
because right now we said in theory each zone only has one bind zone, so that
Yeah.
then the character can just have the ID to that. And but it depends
Yep.
on if we ever want to add more bind zones to a zone.
That's
So
right.
that's the gotcha right now.
So, problem for another day.
I agree.
Add bind zone ID to characters.sql. Sure. Because you're going to have to add the bind zone to the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Respawn logic. Respawn service uses bind zone ID, zone row map, blah, blah, blah. Set character's position health. Respawn logic? Why is that in the respawn logic?
What's wrong with that in the respawn logic?
Why would the character be in the respawn logic? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know anything about the respawn service.
Yeah. I'd say we build it.
Okay.
Do you usually say build it or go up here?
I just click build. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what it comes up with.
I didn't finish working on the thing where we get to make bets on if it gets on its first try or not.
Oh crap!
We should
That's
do
right.
it like we should do like pointing poker where it's blind choices and stuff. I'm gonna say that it's not gonna get it done on the first try.
I'm gonna say that it is going to.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. I like it because if I'm wrong, I still win and that it works.
That's right. That's right. There you go. So how's this going to work, by the way? How are we going to do the betting? What are you thinking? What are you picturing how that's going to work?
No real betting, just a scoreboard to see who's been getting.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
How are we going to do it, though?
I don't know.
Like...
I can build an app and we just each put a thing in.
Okay.
I'll get to it eventually. Yeah, it'll be easy.
Yeah, build an app and it's like we each say yes or no, and then if you say like, okay, so is it going to get it right on the first or on this try? If you say no and I say yes, and it doesn't get it, do I stop being able to guess or can I keep going?
I would say that. Oh, you know what? How about it's anytime we prompt, we can keep going. That's the bet.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So you could be no, 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 and then yes. You know what I mean? Or you could be yes and then be like, all right, I get it. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe part two would be we can start betting our points. I put up 5 previously correct answers for this bet.
That's
right?
correct. Yep. No, I'd love to have that. I want to kind of add a legacy to our episodes.
I agree. I get it. So I get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We can look back 6 months from now and say, play in the last 6 months has been correct 70% of the time when it came to AI, and Steve's only 22%.
We get our own like basketball ref kind of page where there's like advanced analytics and stuff.
Right. We got Ken Palm here working out what our analytics are.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you a college basketball guy?
No, I actually hate college sports.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just not into it. The future,
why is that?
Because I'm watching future enterprise employees run around out there. It's like I might as well like watch something else.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm just not a college sports guy. Yeah.
Only reason I ask is March Madness will be happening soon.
Yes.
There's obviously the degeneracy of gambling associated with it, so that makes it interesting.
Which, by the way, no judgment from me. I will, in fact, put down money to do the brackets and whatnot. But that's just like,
exactly
that's more of the gambling aspect, which I'm all for.
So you do like college sports as long as you can bet on it.
I like gambling.
Yeah. There we go.
That's a big distinction, but yes.
Yes. Play likes to gamble. All right. So what happened here? So I got to run this thing. Let's see. What is this actually doing? Oh, okay. Well, it's actually doing the thing.
I think so too. Because that has to get added. Yeah. Does it look good?
Yeah. Alter table characters, add column if not exists by integer, references, zone ID. Sure. So if I run that, actually, it should be able to run all of these simultaneously, or
Mm-hmm.
one after another.
Yep. But make sure that you like the last one. It looks like it's setting up a default on the last lines 10 through 12, right? That's sort of a default.
It's basically looking,
Yeah.
yeah,
If
it's
it's
setting the
saying yeah, if a character doesn't have it, set it to this, which I think is great actually.
yeah. So in theory now, in here,
Mm-hmm. Everyone should have the same bind point ID, which they
no,
don't.
right, they shouldn't. So what this did is it looked where they were located,
Mm-hmm.
and based off of their map location, it set their bind point,
I see. Okay.
which is great. That's perfect. That's what it should have done.
But a non-junction characters would have nowhere to bind if they died right now. Only the junction characters. Just wanted to clarify. Yeah, that's how it would lay out. Okay, got it.
Technically, yes, because our zones don't have any bind
Right.
spots
If you're an Eris Glade and you died, then nothing would happen for now. Okay.
because it's null. It's just
Right.
null right
Right.
now.
Right.
But we
Right.
can go in here and put whatever we
No,
want.
I follow now. I follow.
Yeah. Cool.
Let's see. Let's try dying.
So, clerk.
And this is on dev, by the way.
Oh, you're right.
That's okay.
Thank you.
I'm glad we didn't lose any time just now.
I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah.
I would have been so frustrated.
Yeah,
like,
can you
why?
imagine?
Keep dying.
You know, can you imagine if like nothing's changing?
That's right. Actually, I didn't even check if there are any other migration scripts in there. Let's go in here. I don't think there's anything else in here.
Yeah, you already did the hard part of adding it to the zones, so I don't think there should be
Yep.
any more. I don't think so anyway.
And then confirm any other zones have bind. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. I don't want to be Jasper though. That dude can't die.
Is he too buff? Is that what happened, or?
Yeah, he's too buff. Does logout do anything? It does. How do we get back to this screen? Is it exit
It's
game?
exit game, yeah. Which we can probably rename. Maybe it's like change character. It's probably the better terminology.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a good sign. That is where
Yeah.
by the way, I fixed this part.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how it would mess up the
Yes.
where you exited?
Yes.
No
Bravo,
longer does
bravo.
that.
Excellent,
I fixed
excellent.
that.
Cool. I'm gonna get rid of that bug on linear then.
I already set it to done.
I have another one for user bug location, so I will assign that to you and give you done. You get the credit. Nice job.
That's interesting. Where are the spawns?
Uh-oh. We broke something else, probably.
Yeah, where's the spawns, dude?
Okay. You know what? Dude, maybe when we added the column to the characters, it broke this because they don't have a reference to something. That's my guess. I bet there's
Where are
gonna
the
be no
spawns,
spider.
dude?
There's gonna be no
All right.
spider, right? Do you see him at all? Or
Well, first of all, I was going to make sure that it wasn't dead.
uh-huh.
NPC true is alive on all of them.
So there's something where if they don't have a bind point, they're not appearing. That's my guess.
You think so? For NPC? NPC
Yeah.
shouldn't have bind points.
I agree, and the code
Oh.
is that's funny. Well, we can at least test dying to start.
Wow, I'm so powerful, I killed it.
Cool, and you added experience to the system log, it looks like.
I did.
Cool, I will
did
get
add
rid of that.
Some reason I'm not getting out of combat though.
I've been noticing that as well, and I just thought that was just a combat bug, because like along the lines of the aggro bug that we have.
Yeah.
I thought that was probably the same thing.
I don't think I'm actually in combat though. I don't know what's going on. You probably can't. Yeah. Oh, this is another bug. Lovely.
Hmm.
I gained aggro through the wall.
Hmm.
That's
Okay.
where the spider is, and it doesn't understand that I'm 2 squares away, but
There's
there's
a
a wall
wall.
between us.
Yeah. So is that considered collisions or something else? I'm trying to think what terminology that would be, but that makes sense from a game logic point that you'd be like, hey, if there's walls, you can't go through them.
Yeah, that's what we have to figure. Yeah, we have
And
to
you
add
can't
that.
lose any health right now.
I know. All right, what in the world here? All right. Cool.
So right now, no NPCs are showing up, and all that we did was add a bind point column.
That's correct.
So to me, I would think that, and it doesn't mean that they're not there. Can you actually? We can test this later, but maybe you can see if the guards can be considered or whatever. Um,
Well, I can't click on them.
can you click on the spider right now or no? Because you can get aggroed by
No,
it. Huh.
I can get aggro, but I can't click on them because there's no model to click on, so there's no collision detection.
Got it. Then it sounds like there's just a dumb easy bug to get through on that one at least.
So, like, if I hover over here, there's nothing.
Yep. 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 Okay. And we can't lose in combat to the spider. You said that's not a real thing.
I'm going to. I'm going to go over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to die to. So there's. I don't know if you've noticed this, but from day one, there's like this little secret over here.
I did not.
This is an illusionary wall.
Uh huh.
There's. You can actually walk through it,
Okay.
and there's a chest over here,
Okay.
but it's guarded by 2 spiders. But anyway, I shouldn't be. And look, my health isn't going down either.
That's what
So I don't
I.
think
That's what
I'm
I've been
really.
noticing.
I don't think I'm really in combat. So I don't know what's going on here.
Your stamina is going down. I did notice that.
That's my energy from
Oh,
healing.
I see. Got it. No health being taken. So bugs got introduced on this.
It did. And the timer's not going down in combat.
Hmm. Okay. So taking notes.
Dude, 1 health. Clerk's too powerful, dude. Telling you.
And that's just me. Just noting a couple things. Okay. It's okay. Let's get back to the cursor and tell him some stupid shit he's got to fix up.
Okay. The stupid shit.
And I typed some of the things in the core. Be like, hey, these are all the newly introduced bugs. +1 points for Clay that Claude fucked up.
Are
In
you keeping
fact,
track somewhere?
no, I'm not. But not only did it not get it done, it made it worse.
Default NPC is not showing up anymore and health not going down. PC health.
And then you can say this is happening in all combat, and I'm not sure we're actually in combat or something. I don't know. Maybe some sort of anecdote because these are just chicken scratch notes. Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, you know what I didn't do though?
So change your branch.
I didn't change the branch.
What were you thinking? What were you gonna say? Is that what you're thinking, or?
I was wondering if I should have crushed the server.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't think so because it didn't do anything crazy. I don't think that would have been the issue, but you should crush the server regardless in this next run. But
Yeah,
I don't think it would have done anything.
yeah.
But and we know that there's not a caching issue because things happened.
What? I'm gonna create a new project called Death. Just FYI in linear.
Sure.
I'm going to call it PC death.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to actually create an issue. And I'll on that issue, I will attach this code to that branch.
Okay.
All right. AOD 187. You said you assigned me another bug?
No, I was just I was assigning it so that you get the points when I was clicking done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't literally assign you anything of note. Yeah.
This is going through a lot of stuff here. What in the world?
It's deleting stuff.
What is it doing? I always get a little afraid when it's thinking for so long.
I'm not too scared just yet. It has all the additional context of what it's already done, so my hope is it maybe just did some stupid shit before. It looks like it did a refactor, actually. Cool.
Okay, I'm going to do a couple of things. One. What? So this isn't working either.
What happened?
These are all set to true. They're not dying when they're not setting to false anymore when they die.
Okay. So, but I'm wondering if this latest change will fix that back up.
And then what I wanted to do. Sorry, clerk.
You nerfing him?
I am.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, make him one health for sure.
Sorry, clerk. All right. Let me just crush the servers really quick.
I agree.
And then let's see here. That's her chat. Sorry. This one, let's crush this one. And then let's npm run dev supabase. Running. Well, it's thinking anyway. And then let's do this one. Clerk has 9 health.
Still caching then. We need to figure out this caching system. It almost needs to like not do that. I don't know. Did it change? Yeah, it did. Oh no, his health is the same though. I think it's just being cached, right?
But where's that coming from? I just crushed the server, so it had to have read from the database. Cached where? In the browser? In local storage?
Not the browser. Well, oh, maybe.
I'm looking, so I'm basically looking in here. I think it had the loading of the info. Oh, that's the NPC issue. That's interesting. I don't know what that is.
I think we need a lot of performance updates. This caching stuff's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
For development, especially. Okay.
Let me see something here. Let me start over. Yes, I definitely want to kill this. Isn't there a clear?
There should be.
Is it not called clear? What's the?
Are you in a terminal instance, or is this like the Windows one? I forgot the name of it already.
Yeah, it's just the Windows command prompt.
I don't know how to use command prompt. Clear is for Linux.
Yeah. What's the? software. CLS.
Yeah. CLS. Yeah, sorry, I only use Mac for
No,
development.
I
So
know, I
I
know,
only
I
know
know.
Linux actually. When he said I was like, "Oh, is this the Windows one?" You hear? I was like,
I yeah.
"Yeah."
All right.
I use PowerShell if I'm on Windows.
So this is definitely brand new server. I'm just gonna refresh that.
And can you rename clerk just to like add a Y to like call him clerky or something? I just want to see where the issue is. If this doesn't appear here, then we might want to open it in like incognito or something else and just figure this out. Okay, let's see. If you refresh and it's just not grabbing it, then we know there's something up. Okay, weird. Can you go back to the health? That's crazy. What? Level 1. Health. Health is 9 again, so maybe we just didn't hit save.
I did.
Oh,
I
I believe you.
absolutely
I
did.
believe you. I don't know then. Why would it just restart? That's crazy. All right. Maybe that took. I don't know, dude. I don't understand computers. Computers just computers, right? I don't know, dude. Are we supposed to know how things work? Because I don't understand how things work. Cool. I fixed this at least.
Looks like quite a gamble.
Let's do it, especially when you got 1 health.
By the way, I figured out the aggro thing.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it's not happening on level 3 characters is because I had built aggro to have diminishing tiles based off of level difference.
Oh, okay.
So,
You died,
oh,
right? Are you at the rock?
yep, I am.
Can you turn around?
I am.
Nice. Hey, cool. We had a long discussion and then cranked out a feature in like 20 seconds. Go die again.
I'm trying to. Oh, that's interesting. It said that it restored 0 health, but it restored 1.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, so then is that a bug note, do you think? Let's see.
Yeah.
Bug when character dies, it says restore when character dies, health things. PC dies, it says restored 0 health, but gave them 1 back. That's cool.
So when your character dies, though,
Mm-hmm.
this works. By the way, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to figure out. You're going to get a free refill of all of your vitals, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Obviously, minus the Mac. Oh, this brown spider, it can't miss. It just killed me again.
Hey, it's pretty cool though. We did 1 loop. That's awesome.
I think this is a win.
Yeah, no, this is huge. This gives us a lot to work off of, and we have the database to set up for all the feature work, so we don't have to go back in there for a while for this feature. I mean, yeah.
Yep. Insufficient energy, my ass.
So there's some other
I
things
honestly
that are
don't
off.
know what. I don't know how much it costs. Oh, we need tooltips or something like that. I don't know
Yeah,
what it costs.
yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Tooltips. Yeah, tooltips for skills, features.
I'm going to,
Tooltips.
yeah, on the hotbar and in the skill window.
Okay.
All right. This works. Let's.
Create a new branch and commit and push.
Exactly. It would be. I already forgot what it was called.
We should. Oh, you know what? If I make that tool for us to bet stuff on, we should also make a times that we forgot to commit.
I know. Absolutely. Which one will be more?
We'll find out.
prompts or number of times we forget?
We'll find. We should make a bet on that too.
I know, because we are degenerate gamblers.
Yes,
Gamblers.
exactly.
Let's create branch AOD 187 and move all this to it. Oh, wow. This was awesome.
Yeah, solid productive day.
To your point about party mechanics and whatnot, that'll be added complexity. But as long as
Absolutely.
we have the foundation here,
Yeah,
I think we can build off of it.
exactly. This we just needed the database to be working and and what have you. And
Yeah.
this is great. Yeah. Maybe the next thing we could do is add two bind points. Move around. But I don't think we need to. I think for MVP, at least we're in a good spot.
Yeah. Uh, did it push?
It did not push.
No. But it did commit. That's interesting.
It did commit because you did tell it to commit.
Yeah. My water bottle is over the. That's why you see me going like this. I can't see behind my water bottle. Push.
How's the gallon challenge going, by the way? Are you like many days in a row?
About right here right now, so a little behind, but I have to go work out, and so when I work out,
You'll
I
be
drink
fine.
a lot.
I talked to
Yeah.
Becca because she drinks a lot of water. I try to drink a lot of water, and I don't know how much I drink. I think after I did the math, I might drink like half a gallon a day, and she probably naturally drinks like a gallon a day. And I'm like, dang, getting to a gallon a day. Do you notice differences? Or are you like, oh, I feel better, or is it like,
Yeah, a
okay,
lot better, 100%.
okay,
Yeah, I really notice it around my eyes and also my hunger.
okay,
I'm way more hungry, more likely to munch on crap if I don't drink water.
got it. I hear you saying. Okay, maybe I'm gonna try to up
Uh,
it.
I'm gonna create a PR and then we'll just do all this. But yeah,
Cool, awesome.
outro time. Do
It's
you have
time
anything
for
to
an
talk
out. I
about?
got yeah, I got an outro. Do you have an outro today? Any cool plugs?
I do.
Okay.
I do have an outro.
You want to go first?
Sure.
Cool.
It's not really much of a plug. It's more of a question for you,
Okay.
and if you have any thoughts on it. Have you played or watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Magic set?
I have not played or watched any of it. I just know everyone is livid, and and I feel bad because we talked about how MTG is going with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I feel like people hate Universes Beyond more than they specifically hate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I know. That's what I think so too.
But I
It's
feel like they're
giving it
catching
a
a
bad
lot right
name.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not going to play at all?
I don't plan to. But I might. I don't know. Like I might do a draft online. That's about it.
Okay.
hmm
Comes out tomorrow.
I'm not going to pre-release. That was not a. Yeah, that was not that. If you meant physically go into play, I wasn't planning on it.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
neither.
Yeah.
I'm to your point. Like I've been watching all sorts of videos, pre-release videos, and whatnot, just to gauge what people are saying. And yeah, it's getting absolutely destroyed.
What do you think it is about this one that is so much like this is even a more visceral of a reaction than Spooderman got? So what do you think happened exactly?
Couple of things. One, it's a extremely small set, just like
hmm
Spider-Man,
hmm
but the power level is through the roof, and
Oh.
it's a Prince or Pauper format when it comes to limited.
Yeah.
So in sealed at your pre-release, if you don't open a bomb, you're going to lose for sure,
Okay.
just because of how pushed the rares are in this set. And literally, there's like so normally in most sets, there could be like an uncommon that might compete with a rare,
Yeah.
or maybe even a common removal that could compete with an uncommon or,
Yeah.
or even a rare at some
Absolutely.
point.
Absolutely.
This set, no. Literally, it's rares are the best. And there's a huge gap between the rares and the uncommons.
Sure.
And then there's a huge gap between the uncommons and the commons. It's like there's like no overlap between them. So the worst common has no chance of making any deck because of how bad it is.
I hate that. I hate when there's chaff like that. Actually, I like when like everything has a place somehow. So
Yep.
that bums me out.
And
I'm like, God, do you guys all hate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that bad, or is it the way that I got set up? Because I'm like,
yeah,
did any of us play Spider Man? Like, I didn't play Spider
that's
Man.
right.
Yeah.
So the other thing that people are complaining about or bringing, and I don't think it's complaints. I think these are actual issues, constructive criticism maybe.
Right.
Is there's no mystery to the format either. It's just a rehash of existing mechanics.
Sure.
There's no new mechanics. And so you add the fact that there's like no diversity amongst the rares. You're just going to draft the rares.
Right.
There's no new mechanics that you can tinker around with and try to come up with new combos. You're left with a very stale, very, I don't know, like, you know what's going to happen. You're going to know the outcome. If you have 3 rares or 4 rares in your pool, you put them in a deck and then you just play it and you're going to win.
That's a
So,
bummer. I actually thought Lorwyn was one of the better draft sets I've played in a long time. Like maybe like
yep.
maybe like 2 years. I would say
Yeah,
Lorwyn was like one of the better ones. So I'm kind of disappointed. That sucks. I
I
don't hate
agree.
the IP. I thought Final Fantasy, which by the way, everyone loved Final Fantasy. That was crazy. But like, I don't have any issues with the Ninja Turtles. I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
Anyway, that was
Yeah.
my outro, is to see what your feelings are now that you might have had a chance to either read up on it or watch any videos.
I
So,
haven't kept up with anything other than I know everybody hates it, and I think some of
yep.
the cards they came out with were kind of cute. That's about it. I'm like, oh, that's cute art. That's cool. I don't know. I don't like until like basically I'll know about these cards because I play Pioneer. So like maybe once one of them hits a meta deck, that's like the only time I find out about them.
Cool. So, what do you got for outro?
So my friend Gage bought me Balatro. Uh, I might
Yep.
have mentioned Balatro to you in the past. I knew nothing about it. It's like super hyped up, and holy shit, it's like a 10 out of 10 game to me. It's so confusing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's
Oh, I've spent probably 100 hours of my life playing Balatro.
Love it. So I loved it. I immediately grabbed it. Immediately for 2 days straight, I didn't do anything but play Balatro. Then Becca walks in and she's like, "Why are you like spending all this time on this game?" I sat her ass down and told her to play one game. She got hooked immediately.
Of course.
So
Yep.
huge shout out to Balatro. I was like, wow, what if like I don't even know how to describe it. Like I'm sure there's tons of deck builder games or whatever, but this was very like I don't know. It was like some of the freshest gameplay I've played in a while. I thought that was super cool, so I loved it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, to your point, yeah. If you're into cards, like poker, if you're into poker at all, and you're into card building games, and you're into a sort of a advancement slash achievement based system, this is the game for you. It is. It was a runner up, I think, for Game of the Year when it came out, or Indie Game of the Year,
Or
just
might have
because
even
of the,
won some too on some other ones.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it was for sure in the running. I don't remember all of it, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It is an exceptional game. They continue to do releases. I stopped playing probably 6 months ago because it was, or maybe a year ago, because it was so damn addicting.
It was very addicting.
Yep.
Yes.
Um, and honestly, it's just, yeah, it's awesome. Miguel, where I work, he actually loves it. He has a Balatro shirt, he has Balatro merch, and he absolutely loves it. So it's a game worth playing for sure.
I'm so impressed. Like, what I was telling Becca was that like I'm never really like surprised by games. Sometimes they move me, but I'm not like, oh my god, this is so like fresh and brand new. This was like one of the first games in a long time that I thought I was like, oh, this is fresh. This is like actually
Yep.
fresh. And I'm sure there's clones now, or maybe I haven't played enough deck builder games, but I've played a lot of games like where there's cards and you're cycling through them. I'm not even talking about Magic. I'm just talking about games where you use decks of cards to like do power ups and whatnot. But I was like, damn, no one just did like a poker based thing. Like I told her it's a poker game with power ups, but there's no poker. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you have
there
to play.
isn't
You
really.
just have to play it.
You need to know the values of poker hands.
Yeah, and I never thought I'd say to somebody, "Oh yeah, I'm really working on a 2 pair build."
No, exactly right.
So I have to give my flowers to them. I was like, "Wow, it's fresh. I haven't played a fresh game in a while, which is cool."
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been out for a couple of years, I think. Right?
it has. It has. It's been off.
Yeah.
I'm late to the party for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's great. I was like, damn,
Yep.
very impressed.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So anyone who watches this later, years from now. Go ahead and grab yourself a copy of Balatro.
Are you okay? On that note, are you playing any other games right now, or indie games that you've picked up? Nothing new.
The only thing that I go back to every once in a while when I'm bored is Frosthaven Digital,
Ooh.
but it's not even a complete game yet. It's still in early access. It won't be a complete game until July.
Okay, so this is the version off of that board. I've definitely heard of Frosthaven. I don't really know too much about it, but that's cool. Okay,
Yeah, it's
because I've
a
heard of Gloomhaven
massive,
too.
massive board game, and I love the board game. It's in the Haven series, so there's
Yeah.
Gloomhaven before this, and then they made a sequel called Frosthaven. And Frosthaven took the original Gloomhaven, made it better balanced, added more features to it as a board game. And it's they're making a digital version of the board game, so it's a lot of fun to play.
I'm pretty sure the Magic Group plays this, so if you ever want to meet up with real people to play in real life, let me know. But and I've never played it, so but I'm all about board gaming.
It's a heck of a lot of fun.
Cool, cool, awesome.
But it's not a typical board game where you do it and you're done. It's what do they call it? It's
It's like D&D where your character kind of goes with you.
that's right.
Oh,
There's a name for it. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's a specific name for it's like a lineage board game. I can't.
is
There's
it?
a
I know what you're talking about. There's like a terminal. It's like progressive or something like that of
yeah,
that sort. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly right.
Okay.
So you will do a session, a campaign in one night, but then you'll come back next week and you'll do another campaign and build off of that last campaign.
So I love everything about games when they do that. Do you know what I hate? How the fuck does everyone have like friends that can like link up to keep this going indefinitely?
No,
I'm like, how are you guys all
that's
so
right.
cool? Like,
That's why I love Frosthaven Digital. You don't have to have friends.
see, and then that I get right, like that I get. I'm like,
Yep.
but then whenever people are like, oh yeah, I made a D&D character and I've kept him alive for like 17 years with this group.
Yep.
I'm like, are you just bragging to me how cool you are? I don't want to hear this shit, dude. I'm so sad that no one wants to play this for this long.
That's why AOD will be a hit because
Exactly.
people AOD for 17 years and not see anyone else. Or not play.
Exactly.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, my friend, this is a good issue or a good episode, I should say.
Yep.
This was a lot of fun.
See you later this week, my guy.